riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Yellow and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show where we pick a song or album, listen to it for an entire week straight, and come back here and tell you, the listener, whether or not we hate it and why. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire, Peter Boyle to my Gene Wilder, Timothy Richardson. How you doing, Mr. Boyle?
Garrett, I am really bad this week. Really bad.
What's got you down, friend?
Well, Garrett, as you and the listeners know, I recently turned 40, an event which was greeted by a deafening silence from both you and our inconsiderate and compassionless audience of jackals. But I have to say, Garrett, the rumors are true. Today, I opened a door so Yogi could calmly walk through it, injuring my back to the point that I could not put on socks or take a deep breath, or sit, or lay down, or stand, without my back just mercilessly seizing up. So if it sounds like I'm constantly out of breath as I do this, that's because I am. I cannot take a deep breath. And based on the table read and the dress rehearsal we did for this episode I think is going to, well, based on the script, it seems to set to include a fair amount of full frontal male nudity.
Wait.
And that's gonna, I think, have to be performed by you instead of me, as I cannot take my own shirt off at the moment, and frankly, you refuse to help me, saying it makes you uncomfortable, and I have pretended to have a hurt back in the past in an attempt to trick you into helping me out. So I look forward to...
These are facts.
Garrett's Linus and Charlie Browns, those of you who are successful feed finders, I guess.
Well, lucky for both of us, Tim, you are still on draft 4. See, you have the goldenrod pages. You need to upgrade to the magenta pages. Those are the final draft for this episode, which I am happy to say will include exactly 0% of my dong. We'll see. I mean, impromptu dong, sure. If it happens organically, yeah, I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying it's not in the script.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But my point is...
Folks, the point is that Tim is a legitimate and real-life episode of Three's Company right now. The dude can't get up. It's fucking hilarious.
Yes. Tom has been a real pain in the ass.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not being nearly as supportive as you'd appreciate.
No, he punched
honestly,
my
folks,
back.
Oh, Tom. Tom, I love a good goof. But that's not really a goof. That's assault. I'll give you a pass. Don't worry about it. But don't do it again. Now,
listen, I'm not going to say it's assault, but it was a bad goof.
Battery? Yeah, bad goof. Now, listeners, if you would like to assault or take advantage of Tim in some way, find him. He is defenseless.
Well, I don't think we should encourage them to find me.
No. Ideally, don't find him here. Like, when he eventually goes to a doctor, which he's definitely going to have to do to get muscle relaxers so that he can take a full adult breath, and then you can find him. And again, whatever you need to do, now's the time. He cannot take a full breath.
I'm going to be carrying my revolver around with me a lot more.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Now I will say, attack at your own risk. Tim has an unlicensed handgun in his pocket.
Well, it's licensed.
Not to you.
Okay, all right.
Tim, when not injuring yourself through casually opening doors, what song have you been listening to for an entire week straight?
I have been listening to the 1982 synth pop nightmare, Puttin on the Ritz by Taco. And I just have to say, Garrett, Sexy Summer might have died this week. Frankly, we might be looking at an early start to the spooky season, which I have called Spogust? Spookgust. We'll work on the name.
It can't be Spogust.
It could be.
But once again, I want to applaud you for figuring out right off the bat what we're not going to go with. It's good to get those out of the way. Well done. Well done. We'll put that firmly in the no column. Spogust. Okay. And Tim, after an entire week with Taco and his maddening, hypnotizing, disgusting, and curious single Puttin on the Ritz, boy, am I curious. Do you hate this song?
Oh, Garrett, I suspect that I do, but for now I will say not yet. I want to be clear though, if I get there, if I end up saying that I hate this song, I want to be very clear, I do not hate Taco. I listened to a series of recent-ish interviews with him. I find him to be charming and likable, if a little weird.
I mean, that's the vibe he's giving off.
Well, no, not in the song or the music video.
Well, the music video is a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah, Garrett, do you hate this song?
Oh my, no.
Okay.
It's too weird. It's just too weird. And here's the thing. It's always seemed a little weird.
But it sure has. Yeah.
But this week I like peeked under the covers, and what I thought was going to be a fairly cut and dry episode, like here's a bad song, here's a weird music video, and we're out, is so much more like racist and dark than I ever expected.
So what you're saying is like, if I was like, hey Garrett, come look under these covers, and you're expecting me to be nude from the waist down, and then you look, and from the waist down, I've got like...
Your tentacles.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say chicken legs, but yours is weirder. Yeah, that's the perfect metaphor for this. You think it's going to be sexy / sexual assault, and Tim, instead
you are on a one-way ticket to vomit on your genitals. If I see you nude from the waist down, I'm vomiting. That sounds disgusting.
Right, but again, in this scenario, it's horrifying Cthulhu tentacles.
Donald. Well, sure. But I wouldn't lift those sheets like wanting to see your nude body.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, you go into it with a worst case scenario in mind.
Oh, I see. Yes, sadly. And yes, it's the perfect analogy. You think it's gonna be this bad, and then bad is redefined.
Right.
Alrighty, Tim. You don't hate it, I don't hate it. We both might secretly love it. But before we can really talk about it, I'm curious, what's your history here? Had you heard this song before? Were you familiar with Taco and his works? What's the dealio?
No idea what Taco was. I am familiar with this song, but only when not performed by Taco. You know, Sexy Fred Astaire, Frankenstein, the young one with the Gene Wilder, and the equally great Peter Boyle. I've seen these things, but I had never heard this version, and to date was content with that.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think I needed this in my life.
Taco virgin. Interesting.
Yes, I was a taco virgin. Garrett.
Yes.
To contrast my virginity, you were some sort of taco slut, I'm taking it. Tell me your slutty history with taco.
I mean, by contrast to you, yeah, I'm a dirty little taco slut. But all that... How dare you? How dare you?
We're not beating taco slut. That's it.
That's the shirt. Folks, listen, all I mean by that, of course, is that I heard the song casually from 1986-ish to the year 2025. It was on like pop stations when I was a boy. Then it went away for a bit. And then I began the ability to get 80s playlists. And it's pretty much on all of those. I hear this song probably once a week in my adult normal walking about life.
Shocking to me.
Yeah, well, I listen to a lot more music than you.
That's not true. You listen to
a lot more
80s.
variety.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you are locked in 2014. Nothing past it.
Right, but this was earlier than that, you see.
Yeah, I don't know. You had a blind spot.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, my entire life, I have thought this was a very strange song. And to be fair, Tim, I want to give you credit right off the bat. I always associated it with some sort of like Halloween theme. Something. But the older I got, the less sense that made. And so I kind of forgot about it. And then it came on while I was riding my bike through the woods there. And I was like, oh, you know what?
What woods are you riding your bike through? You're not calling Central Park the woods again, are you?
No, not after the haranguing I got from you and the listeners. Any collection of trees in a dense enough area is the woods. It doesn't have to be formally named the woods. I don't understand. I didn't call it a forest. You guys, fuck off.
All right.
Don't be so... I hear the tone. You're not agreeing with me.
If you went across the bridge to the Palisades and you're hanging out in the Garden State, the good part of it, like, I'm on board for that.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I'm doing. It's lovely. So many flow trails. Anyway, back to my point. I heard this song and was reminded of how utterly strange it is, and then we did The Plan. Remember The Plan, Tim, by the Osmonds?
I do, yeah.
Yes. One of those songs had a very similar, I think it was your, Why Did You Do It? Movie Man.
Yeah, the song about Walt Disney. I remember. And the thing that he did to Milton or Marshall or Winston or Merrill. See, you remember.
Because I edited that episode like 11 hours ago. Anyway, fucking creep. It sounded very similar in delivery to this song to me, and I was reminded of it.
More.
Yeah, well, that's because your ears are broken. And I suggested it. Glad I did. It's fucking strange, and the music video is dark. So dark, folks, they had to re-edit it.
We'll get there.
That's my overly long history and your very brief one. Before we can talk about the song itself, we need to know more about Taco. Lord knows I do. I know nothing about this person aside from the fact that I couldn't entirely pin down their nationality.
I have a pretty good reason for that.
Oh, interesting. All right, well, Tim, take me on a journey. Help the listener understand who is Taco and how did Puttin on the Ritz come to be?
The story of Taco begins in 1934 when Frank Marshall, aka Frank Marzalkiewicz, created a ventriloquist dummy for Edgar Bergen, who rejected it after he came to see it at the factory, and in a freak accident, while demonstrating some advanced functionality of the dummy and doing a little song and dance thing, a worker at the factory was killed.
Wait. Your story begins about Taco with a man being murdered by a ventriloquist dummy in a factory.
No, it was a freak accident. He was performing a song and dance and something fell on him.
Who was performing a song and dance? The dummy?
No, the factory worker. He was showing how the dummy worked to the guy, Edgar.
Was it a dummy factory?
Yes. Frank Marshall was a very famous dummyman.
That can't be. There can't be an entire factory dedicated to making terrifying dolls.
It was the 30s.
That's right. They didn't have radio. I guess they might add that. But it was a luxury. Go ahead.
Anyway, Garrett, that haunted doll was eventually sold to a Dutch sailor on his way to Jakarta, Indonesia, then known as Batavia. The doll was kept in an old woodworking shop until the summer of 1960 when it was purchased by Mr. O'Kersey in an attempt to cheer up his wife. The couple was grieving a personal tragedy. Now, 3 weeks later, the couple announced to the world that they had a brand new, freshly born 5-year-old son who they named Taco.
What?
Taco O'Kersey. As a child.
Wait, I think I missed something.
I don't know. What do you
First of all, how does the dummy play into any of this?
I thought I was very clear about that, Garrett. Personal tragedy, man brings a dummy home, and now they have a boy. Haunted dummy.
Was the boy turned in? Was
Have
the dummy
you
turned
seen the music video, Garrett? I feel like that will clear up a lot of questions as to whether or not this man is a haunted ventriloquist dummy. As a child.
So we are assuming we're in a Pinocchio situation.
Basically, yes.
Okay, that's fine.
But
Geppetto
less
away.
of a real boy. Anyway, Garrett, as a child, Taco gravitated toward the theater because, obviously, he moved around the world with his family. He lived in Indonesia, Singapore, the United States, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany. He went to the International School of Brussels in Belgium, go Wildcats, a school designed to teach U.S. Department of Defense personnel's kids. After the diplomat school, Taco studied interior decoration and went to acting school in Hamburg, performing in Fiddler on the Roof, Chicago, and West Side Story, among others in Hamburg's theater district. He also directed and choreographed some musicals. Now, he founded his first band, a rock band called Taco's Biz, in 1979. They recorded some stuff, they played around some clubs, nothing much happened with them, but he eventually signed with West Germany's Polydor a couple years later and began putting out German-language singles, including Traume brauchen Zeit, Dreams Take Time, and Keiner gewinnt, Nobody Wins. And I listened to a podcast where he described a good portion of his earlier career, and from what I can tell, the original deal, like stated in his contract, was that he basically had to be a German-language only balladeer, and then he had to beg them to let him sing something that people might actually like and that anyone might buy. I don't know why popularity was specifically verboten in his contract. Yeah, Polydor eventually agreed, and he inexplicably settled in on an electropop cover of Irving Berlin's 1927 song Puttin on the Ritz. Now, the only possible reason I can think of for him to have selected that song specifically is maybe when he was a wooden boy, maybe that was something that was popular. Maybe that was something that a man once sung while chipping away at his body with a chisel.
Well, I mean, before he was imbued with whatever purse has brought him to life, assume that he was forced to dance about or possibly just do a lip sync to the song. Because it was probably, I think you're right, it is a haunted doll situation. So that was probably what was popular at the time. And he's popularized it in the quote unquote modern day. I think you're dead on there.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to tell you how well it did, but it did break him into the US markets as well as a ton of European countries where it, I think, kind of makes more sense for people to enjoy this, or at least a specific take on it. And also, I would not have guessed based on the song delivery. This guy does speak perfect English, just so you know. When that song hit and he kind of blew up, mostly in Europe, but again in the US, he had to scramble to throw together a bunch of similar songs to capitalize on it. So he released...
crazy.
Yeah. So he released After 8 in 1982, which featured 5 songs that he co-wrote, 5 original songs, and then 5 other classic era songs done in this style. Again, raising the question of why does he know these songs? Why does he gravitate specifically toward these? He, of course, did Singin' in the Rain and Cheek to Cheek. I listened to Cheek to Cheek. It is quite good. It does have the exact... We'll get into it when we discuss the actual song, but he does... I mean, it is exactly this, right? He does the same sing-talky thing. There's like weird lines that are delivered with a very heavy vocoder. I mean, it's basically exactly this song.
Weird.
Yeah. That album peaked at number 23 on the US Billboard 200, which is not too shabby if that's not the last anyone on this continent ever hears of you. He toured extensively in Europe in 1983 and 84. He did some less big tours in the US, but he did get on a lot of television. He was on the Merv Griffin Show, a Bob Hope special, Good Morning America, Alan Thicke, etc. He released a follow-up, the appropriately titled Let's Face the Music in 84, which did mediocrely even in Germany. He did some more follow-up records, Swing Classics in 1985, Tell Me That You Like It in 86, and Taco in 1987. These albums are only available for listening on his website. They don't seem to exist elsewhere. He then released a couple of disco collabo singles in 1989 and became an actor in Germany again, appearing in some TV shows and then some Austrian theater productions. And for the next decade, he just sort of slept in this antique trunk in a storage locker. You know, his cloth joints all folded up on himself. But he had a small resurgence, weirdly, in 2009 and 2010 when he was featured on Russian television and performed a couple of songs at the Olympic Stadium in Russia, and then starred on Russian TV's New Year's Eve show in 2009, which got 84 million viewers across the world.
Jesus.
Somehow, like people in like 20 countries watched this. Cleopatra Records then was like, hey, this guy is the next big thing. He looks like he's fresh out of some sort of box. His face looks literally like it was recently lacquered. So they got him to do some new recordings. They got some LA studio musicians. He redid this song with his vocals from while he was in Germany. That led to some more singles, some more re-releases and best ofs being released. He did another single milking the song of the week, Puttin on the Ritz 2017 in 2017. He released 8 singles by my count since 2021, so he's still doing this. Some of those include I Wanna Dance, Hot Summer Jams, and my personal favorite, It's Snowing in My Heart, parentheses, Bad Santa. And that's basically it. He's a nice guy. He lives in Germany. The interviews I listened to, he could have pursued fame, I think, more in the US. Basically, he was going to have to move to Los Angeles at some point in his career. And he was like, I'm kind of just a European dude. Like, I don't really want to do that. And they're like, you can have some modicum of fame in the US. And he's like, right, I'm going to probably just be a weirdo in Hamburg, in Austria.
Yeah.
And that's what he's been doing. The end. LaFace? Peace and Chaos.
On the Ritz? Peace and chaos to you as well. Great history, Tim. That is to say, enlightening? Honestly, I have more questions than it answered. What a weird dude. Now, in the pre-show interview, general impressions, did he have a tude? Was he cooperative? What is our general impression of him? Because I didn't get a sense.
He was very nice. He looks much more tan than I was expecting.
That's a weird comment. Does he still look like how do I put this? A hot haunted puppet brought to life?
I mean, no, much less so. Much
That's
less
good.
so. Yeah.
That's good. Did you ever see the movie The Boy?
I don't think so. It sounds like a movie for me.
Basically, this Irish chick gets hired to be an au pair for the summer for an older family, an older couple, while they go on vacation to watch their young boy. And she gets there and they're like, this is Brahms. He's our son. He's particular, but he's a lovely lad. And it's a fucking doll.
Jesus.
Yeah. And she's like, oh.
Honestly, that's a horror movie if nothing else happens. Like, if it's a lovely time, it's still fucking creepy.
Yeah, that's the premise. It's a good time. They made a sequel way less good, but if you've not seen The Boy and you know nothing more than what I've just said, it's worth a watch because it will surprise you. It's not what you think, I promise. Okie dokie. That aside, Timmy, that brings us to the song itself. Let's play a little bit so that everybody's on the same page. Somehow I think everyone knows it, but in case you don't, here you go. Taco and his hit, Puttin' on the Ritz.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Synth pop?
It is intimidating synth pop.
Intimidating.
I found it intimidating. Yeah, musically it's very synth pop. He sings, I hesitate to use the word sings. He does this weird monotonous voice, sometimes with a vocoder, which he again uses even more prominently in some other songs. But it is synth pop. It's atmospheric. He incorporates a lot of kind of ragtime-esque elements, particularly in the latter half of this song. There's a lot of jangly piano.
I'll tell you what, that jangly piano, Irving Berlin was onto something. It speaks to me.
Yeah, I can get behind the piano. Sure.
Like, the rest of it is a little repulsive, especially in today's lens. It was better in its own era, but Jesus, it's an overwhelming amount of synth.
Yes, absolutely. Now, we're going to get into the lyrics. Should we talk about the original intent of this song?
Yes, is the short answer. Now, do we talk about it in contrast to the version that we're about to go through, or do we just kind of break down how it changed early on and then go through it?
I think the second thing.
Okay, let's get into it. What was the original intent of the song, Tim?
So the original, and Mr. Berlin changed this himself. Like, this wasn't the final draft even he had. But so putting on the Ritz, of course, means dressing in expensive wear in order to appear wealthy when you aren't, and kind of like hit the town and like act as if you're rich, right? So it's, it's the equivalent of the douchey finance bros who are pretending they're billionaires when they're probably not saving any money. Now, he originally wrote it. The original is about going to Harlem, Lenox Avenue specifically, and watching black people and laughing at them, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? So the lyrics, the original are, have you seen the well-to-do up on Lenox Avenue? Oh, that famous thoroughfare with their noses in the air. So Lenox Avenue, specifically at the time of this writing, was not the best part of town. This was a main street in Harlem. So he goes on, he says, if you're blue and you don't know where to go, why don't you go where Harlem flits, putting on the Ritz? Come with me, we'll attend their jubilee and see them spending their last 2 bits, putting on the Ritz. So it's essentially like, let's go up there, let's watch black people pretend to be wealthy and spend their last...
what little money they have.
Right, exactly. And then we'll chuckle to ourselves, knowing that we are, of course, the superiors.
Yeah, their words, not ours, to be super clear.
Yeah, Irving Berlin's words specifically.
Yeah, and also, just in case anybody's not tracking and they're like, Lenox Avenue, what are we talking about here? You might know it as Malcolm X.
Oh, that's
true. Is it Ave?
I think it's
Boulevard.
Malcolm X Boulevard. Yes, you're right.
I was going to say, fucking walk down it 300 times. What the fuck's it called? It's Boulevard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Irving Berlin's words, not ours. We go to Harlem on a very regular basis for several things we enjoy, so please, let us keep coming there.
Now, in our defense, we usually go up Frederick Douglass Boulevard.
Yeah, but that's just convenience. It's not a social statement.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This song also has interpolations of White Christmas. There's no business, like Show Business and some other Irving Berlin songs. I mean,
it's impressive.
But again, this goes to my point. Like, he is very much stuck in this time period. Like, he's musically, he is hitting 1983, but literally all of his influences, other than like the vocoder and synth, are from 70 years earlier. It's very strange. It's almost as if he is from an earlier time.
Yeah, as though he were probably brought to life again by a curse curse or demon. And I'm sure as a puppet brought to life in the early 20th century, he probably got up to some Pennywise-style murders. Some kids or group of adults managed to lock him inside of a, what are those called? Trunks.
Yeah.
Trunk for 60, 70 years. He pops out. He's an adult dummy brought to life and does this song.
Yeah.
It adds up.
While also doing German theater.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, he's an interesting fellow. I was glad to hear he was a nice guy. That you enjoyed Taco.
Oh, I think he was very sweet. He never once tried to consume my soul, if that's what you're curious about.
Yeah, you gotta wonder with any dummy brought to life, what's their motivation?
Honestly, you have to wonder with any pre-show interview.
And I mean, a few of them have gone sideways, but I tend to believe that is you.
That's true. But that Mark
You make
McGrath
unwanted
guy,
advances.
I did not make an advance on Mark McGrath. Absolutely not. That guy came at me with a knife before I said...
It was his face. That wasn't even a knife. That was his cheek.
Holy
He's
shit.
all angles.
Garrett's-
He's all angles.
Garrett, you know what? I might have
been
misjudged
a
him.
misunderstanding.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
I think he was going in for a bro hug.
Yeah, no, he definitely was. I assumed it was he was trying to stab me in the neck with a series
you
of
bled.
knives. Well,
You bled pretty
but
heavily
now
from the neck.
I'm thinking maybe it was like his nose or his chin or his cheeks.
Yeah. Angular man. Gino, pull the security tapes from... Oh, that was before the move.
Yeah.
We don't have any tapes from that building.
No.
Anyway, back to the song, Tim. Let's spend just a moment on his delivery. First of all, the song does necessitate a level of talk singing.
It does, but the way, like, his delivery is not at all like Christopher Walken, but it is as different from how anyone would sing or talk as Christopher Walken's delivery is. It's bizarre.
I get what you're saying.
It's like the pauses are in all the wrong places. It's why I was so surprised that he spoke such good English, because this feels like somebody that has never seen any of these words before and sang it for the first time, like reading it off a page, and they kind of cleaned it up in whatever their equivalent of Pro Tools was. I guess cassette tapes.
I was going to say scissors and tape.
Yeah.
Pro Tools. It's just a guy with a name tag. Anyway, yes, it's clipped. It's a very clipped delivery.
Yeah.
It's hard to emulate. I do feel like the rhythm doesn't... It's like he's syncopated.
Yes.
That's hard to emulate.
Yeah, it is bizarre.
Because he's one man, not a right and left hand. So, how's he doing that? Yeah, it's weird. I find it somewhat hypnotic.
Oh, absolutely. It's the sort of thing that, like, you're at a show, he's sitting on somebody's knee, and you find yourself nodding off as he performs this, and then you wake up and you're in that goddamn trunk. He's living your life.
Do you think it's a soul swap? Like, as long as he feeds the trunk, he's allowed to stay out?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm just telling you what happens. I don't know
God, in the trunk. That's it. That's why oh my God. Tim, you never had to fear Taco. You had to fear his trunk. He gets to live a normal adult life, aging, experiencing the world, as long as he keeps a body slowly feeding that trunk. Venus trap style.
Venus flytrap. Oh,
Thank you.
yeah, no, I think that adds up. I mean,
Did he have a trunk?
He did bring his trunk.
Whoa.
It seemed too small. Like it was more Foot Locker size. It wasn't like a man-sized trunk, not like a coffin-sized trunk, but like
Sure. But you could get a body in it.
Well, I assume that the idea is to fold up the cloth joints. So
Yeah, I'm talking about folding up a person and feeding it to that trunk.
I assume.
All right, we're going to take a quick pause, everybody, and do a real fast intern roll call. 1 sec. Okey-doke, so 3 are gone.
Yeah.
3 are just gone. There's a lot of blood in the stairwell. I don't know if that's trunk related. It's not
unrelated.
unusual. Oh.
Same reason there's that salad in there, Garrett. I don't want to clean it up.
Okay, moving on. Let's get into the song itself. Here we go. If you're blue and you don't know where to go, why don't you go where fashion sits? Puttin' on the Ritz. Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes, and cutaway coat. Perfect fits. Puttin' on the Ritz. So there's not a lot to the song that we haven't already addressed, right? If you're blue and you don't know where to go, why don't you go? In this case, though, they've changed the lyrics. Now you're going to the glitzy part of town to go revel in the Ritz.
Yeah, and I don't know, is this for like a poor person? Like, is he encouraging what
I think so.
Mr. Berlin was apparently mocking? Or is this just if you're rich, just dress up and go hang out? And
it might just be if you're bored and you want to do something that's fun, go get glammed up. I really don't know.
Do you remember when we used to wander around downtown Dallas when we lived there?
How much of this are we going to share? Yes.
I'm just reminding you, we were bored. We went where fashion did not sit.
The bus station.
Yes.
It's, if you really want to take the pulse of your city, go down to the local bus station, bring a weapon, go down to the local bus station and just observe. I'll let you know who's coming and going.
You bring a weapon, but also you have a friend who's not walking with you, but walking like maybe a 1/10 of a mile behind you so that he will be able to arrive and provide backup at the appropriate time.
I wish you hadn't said arrive. Remember, we've kind of segued that phrase to mean gasms.
Yeah.
Gasms. Get out of here, Smokey.
Anyway, dressed up like $1 million trooper, trying hard not to look like Gary Cooper. Super duper. The super duper is, of course, vocodered way up. Come, let's mix where Rockefellers walk with sticks or umbrellas in their mitts, putting on the Ritz. Yeah, again, I think that this part of the song, really this whole song, it's just that. They've changed it, they've sanitized it to just be like, hey, let's go hang out in the glitzy fucking Park Avenue bullshit at the Ritz. We'll pretend to be a little richer than we are, but we want to be really, really clear. This is not about going to Harlem and making fun of black people.
Yeah, kudos to him for revising it in like the 40s. I think it was like 41 or something. He was like, yeah, we're going to change this.
Yeah, he's a good man, Irving Berlin. I don't know that. Do not write him. Yeah. We'll eventually get to that. I thought about doing his entire history for this, and then I decided, no, we got to talk about a puppet monster. So
yeah. Did you take history of rock music in college?
No.
I did. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I've never had a class since like, I don't know, maybe 7th grade where I was just like, it's fine. I know the answers. I will guarantee you I know the answers. I still went to class every day or whenever we had it because it was fun. But like, I didn't have to write any of that down. I don't know who the fuck Irving Berlin is.
Yeah, that's fair. I did Latin American history, and I did it mostly because I was interested in the, crazy past century, the overthrows, the communism, etc. But before I got to that, they did 3 months or so on like Incan and Mayan history, like prior to even the like Spanish conquest. Well, you say cool, but like they don't really know that much about that because they weren't writing all that down.
Right.
So why was that? Okay.
Were they just guessing?
I think so. That was my accusation. I did not do well.
Don't they have a bunch of glyphs?
They have some, but I mean,
I thought they were super into glyphs.
Well, we're all super into glyphs, Garrett, but my point is, it was not a well-recorded history like you were expecting.
Trying hard to look like Gary Cooper.
It's amazing because what you did is perfect. The singing through an old-timey megaphone, he somehow made it that, but 80s, like the synth version of whatever that is.
Well, that's when you mix in a vocoder to go.
Again, what year is he from?
I mean, we've established the early 20th century.
Fair enough.
He's a fucking haunted puppet, and I dare him to prove me otherwise. Prove me wrong, Taco. Prove me wrong. Also, pretty sure your trunk ate our interns. Let's continue. Have you seen the well-to-do up and down Park Avenue on that famous thoroughfare with their noses in the air, hi-hats and arrow collars, white spats and lots of dollars, spending every dime for a wonderful time?
Far less insulting this way.
That's the song, though. So it seems like it's more or less go to the fancy parts of town and live it up for a night. Raise your spirits.
Yes, as opposed to the opposite.
I was both simultaneously surprised and unimpressed to learn that the term, Ritzy, putting on the Ritz, literally comes from the Ritz-Carlton. They were like, that's a fancy hotel.
Oh,
Look at you, Mr. Ritz.
Yeah, I always assumed that. Or I assumed that it was a name, like that, it was Mr. Ritz, or possibly that both of them had taken their name from the same thing. But yeah, I assumed that it was the hotel.
For some reason, I always thought it was the other way around.
You thought it was the Cracker.
Oh, that's a great question. How do they sort that out?
I assume it's the exact same thing. I assume the Cracker is trying to associate itself with the Ritz-Carlton.
I'm surprised they weren't sued.
Maybe they got it. Well, that's the thing. Let's say there's a Ritz-Carlton, and let's say that you and I change our name to Mr. Ritz and Mr. Carlton, and then we have a podcast and we call it the Ritz-Carlton Podcast. They can't sue us. That's just our names. It's illegal.
Well, they could definitely sue us.
They could not. Not if our names are legally Ritz and Carlton.
They can definitely sue us.
Okay, then what we do, we sue them first.
Yes, that's what we do.
All right. We'll get Gino on this. Well, first...
I was endlessly... So I used to stay at a Ritz-Carlton in Atlanta quite a bit. And...
what is your job?
Doesn't matter, but for like a year.
I know, that's my point.
Anyway, it's fascinating what a hotel chain like that will decide is important and needs to be fancy and what doesn't. So somebody's coming in that room every night to take your comforter, move it 6 inches lower, and put a mint on your pillow you're going to not see and melt into your hair. Why? Why is that a thing? I do not need that. Nowhere else on planet Earth do you expect somebody to come into your room, move your sheets slightly, because that's an effort, and put candy in your bed.
Now, what do they do that isn't fancy? If you were talking to Mr. Ritz or Mr. Carlton, what would you tell them they should fancy up?
The restaurant. The food is basic.
Okay. Got a bunch of basic bitches running that restaurant. I get
Also, the gym. The gym was hot garbage, but the sauna was amazing. Tim, they had a wet and dry sauna.
They had definitely switched that. I don't need any of that. I need that gym to be better.
Right.
Well,
I would
not
better
now,
balance
because
it.
I cannot stand, sit, or lay.
Right. No, there'll be no moving for you.
Or stationary time. It all hurts.
It's so great. I mean, I feel for you, but also very funny. Very funny stuff. Anyway, back to the song. It's basically, I guess we're there, right? Spending every dime for a wonderful time. And the idea is that it's worth it. You're going to have a good time. You're going to throw around a little bit of cash, but you're going to feel better for it. And it's not mocking the poor. Great. Then you get the first verse again. You get the chorus again. A tap dance solo?
Oh, yeah, because, Garrett, it's the roaring 20s.
Yeah, very confusing. Chorus again. This time it ends with "for putting on the Ritz."
And, Garrett, I think that brings us to the video, right?
No.
Oh.
Sorry. We've got to talk about the bridge. Only because the delivery just is, I think he's rapping a little bit here. Downtown, uptown, get your kicks at the Ritz. Dine and wine, but not till 9. This time is right for us tonight. We can move to the rhythm. I think we're rapping a little bit.
It's what rap would sound like if you got one of the old-timey megaphones and also you were a dummy brought to life by a factory accident from the 1920s. Or 30s.
Yes.
I think I said 30s.
Yeah, early 20th century will get you there either way. And then there's some spelling, there's some injected ragtime piano. It sounds a little like the Mario 2 music. And then out of nowhere, I will say, he does sing at least one line in this whole song. He sings it, Tim. Gotta dance!
Yeah, he does.
Then we get the first verse again, and we hear his shoes walking away confusingly, and that's the song. Now, Tim, the music video. Which one did you see?
Well, I watched the YouTube one.
Oh, boo.
7
Coward.
times.
Oh.
And then I received a VHS tape in the mail. There was no return address. In fact, I'm not even sure why I'm describing it as in the mail. It was on our doorstep and it said Tim on it. So I watched that. And it was a slightly different version of this video. There was one very specific difference. I think we go through it as the YouTube version. version, and then we say the change.
Okay, I like what you're doing here.
Okay,
Got it.
So the music video, the YouTube music video, Garrett, it starts off with some filmography, and it looks like it might have been trying to ape like Thriller, I guess. It's got like the smoke, but then it pans to what appear to be the Dennis Leary people from Demolition Man.
Oh yeah. They're like 19. Well, okay, Tim, this is crazy. This all feeds into your theory. They're homeless people, but they're like tramps.
Yeah, they're Dickensian homeless.
Yeah, they're wearing suits.
Yeah, there's fire barrels. They've made friends with mice, for God's sakes.
Absolutely. And then in the background, emerging from the smoke, Tim, maybe the greatest entrance into a music video ever, you see Taco lurking on a catwalk. He's in tuxedos and tails, white gloves, and he comes slinking across this catwalk behind all of these unsuspecting poors.
Yes. Now, when you say how he's dressed, tuxedo with a white tie, which is a completely different thing.
Yeah, I think that's a waiter.
He is, okay, Garrett, because the way they film it, it appears as though these Dickensian 1920s hobos.
There it is.
The right word. It seems like they're in the orchestra section of a theater house, and he is walking like on a catwalk, like you said, or possibly like on a mezzanine or balcony or something. And
yeah, I mean, it's the, Tim Burton approach to cityscape. It's all a soundstage, and they're trying to create dimension, but it's garbage, especially in the version on YouTube, because it's been up-res to 4K, so you can see everything.
Yes.
It looks like a child's production of Taco Presents Puttin on the Ritz.
Yes. And I mean, yeah, as you said, he looks insane, but not just how he's dressed, Garrett. They have, as if to accentuate that he is made of wood, they have painted him to resemble a ventriloquist dummy from 1927.
It's crazy. I love that description. I don't know how it didn't occur to me. Bravo. My looks like was Tim Curry from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, I have, he out-curries Tim Curry, who is historically a top 10 Tim. But I think it's not even his look as much. It's the head bobs, the choreography. It's
the unsettling doll-like motion.
Yeah, the dead eyes. Yeah.
Black eyes like a doll's eyes.
He's also carrying a cane that seems to be inspired by a lightsaber for some reason.
It's definitely a lightsaber, dude.
Why?
Because it's 1982. Shut the fuck up. Give me that lightsaber and pass that mirror over here. I'm going to do a line.
Yeah. Now, he strolls down the stairs into this group of bums who, again, they're dressed like turn-of-the-century Irish immigrants. And they're as poor as the Irish. They're, okay, so he comes down and he's singing this as he walks amongst them, really walks through them. And, money comes floating down. The filthy Irish drop to the ground to collect it. The Irish eventually, I mean, they're dressed in suits, so...
I noticed you're calling them the Irish now, specifically.
Well,
they're no longer hobos, tramps, or just simply the homeless. They're specifically Irish.
I think we're getting at the same thing here. I agree. Again, though, they're dressed in suits, so he lets them ascend the stairs with him, kind of leading a parade with his lightsaber for some reason.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a fancy dancing cane, but it's a lightsaber because it's 1982 and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And again, all the while, they're doing all sorts of unsettling close-ups of his face. He's striking poses. He's doing kind of like a Willy Wonka kind of thing, like when he first walks out to address the crowd, and you're like, does that guy have like Huntington's or something? Like, why? What? Those motions are not the motions of a human with human joints and muscles and things. That's not how people would look. And so he's doing all these like unsettling head motions, head bobs. He's smiling in a way that I can only describe as distasteful and leering. It's
I was gonna say threatening.
Yeah. I mean, again, he out-curries Tim Curry.
It's wild. It took me like a once through before I was like, who the fuck does he look like?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, Pennywise. Now, what we haven't talked about is all the crazy like blue, I don't know what to call it, visual effects. That's generous. You did mention the crazy tight close-ups routinely throughout all this, but there's also all of this blue and like covering him for no apparent reason that seems to be accentuating something, though we don't don't really know what.
Yeah, they're like Tron side effects, right? They're like the...
Perfect.
I don't know how to say it other than that. Like somebody...
They're neon highlights on a human.
Right, so that you can tell that they're programs, right? That's how that works.
Unclear. Where's Jeff Bridges?
There's a lot of tap dancing. That happens for a while.
So much more tap dancing. It is maddening how long that lasts.
Yes. Then there is the ragtime piano kicks in.
Can we talk about the piano player for a minute?
Sure.
Is he a ghoul?
He's a ghoul or a goblin, perhaps? Some sort of...
Okay, I thought I was just fucking crazy, but every time I watched it, I was like, no, he's got like crazy, weird makeup on.
Yeah, he looks like they make up a man to look like a corpse, and then they're like, no, that doesn't make sense. This isn't supposed to be Halloween-y. And then what they did, instead of washing that off, they put people makeup on top of the corpse makeup.
Yes, that's exactly. Or it's like they did his corpse makeup for black and white, and then someone was like, no, it's color. And they're like, oh, this is going to look weird.
Yeah, very possible, very possible. And then the only way I described it ending in what I could only say is cape play.
Oh, yeah. It's total cape play.
He plays with that cape.
Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. We skipped over something here. Something important, Tim. Let's not skip over the ivory robot man that looks unsettlingly like Robin Williams in that dreadful Bicentennial Man. It's like a combination of that and Pierce's father on Community.
Oh, God.
With his weird ivory hair. Anyway, this sad, terrifying ivory robot I don't know what he's doing there. He's all white. He's terrifying. Then there's two dudes that just look at the camera and they're wearing old man masks while standing in the snow. I don't know what that means either. Then Taco comes over and terrorizes that poor robot man to some degree. I don't understand the exchange. More money falls from the sky on the now what were poors are rich. And then
but still Irish, though, to be clear.
I don't love what you're saying. But anyway, let's keep going. And that brings us to Tim's twirling of the cape.
Yeah, cape play. He plays with that cape.
And then he stares into camera unflinchingly as the entire thing fades to black.
Right, because he doesn't really have eyelids.
Yikes. Well, that's true, though. I mean, that is true. He is a puppet brought to life. He also has felt limbs, I assume.
Yes, or at least felt joints. Now,
do we think that, is it a Pinocchio? He's not flesh.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's flesh. I think that he is animated, but not flesh. If you understand the distinction.
Oh, I do entirely. I can't believe I'm saying this. You should have touched Taco. Anyway, you were smart not to. You didn't know if he was going to harvest your soul or whatnot. You can't trust a haunted puppet man.
No, you can't.
And it turns out not his fault. Haunted chest.
Well, I mean, it's a little his fault.
What do you mean? I'm not gonna. You can't just take the effect and make it the cause. It's true though. He didn't cause the haunted trunk, Tim.
Speaking of Garrett, I could really see this guy doing like a single on Third Man Records. That would make a ton of sense. Jack White, I know you're listening. You've been listening since episode 30 when we told you your music was bad.
Yeah, we know.
Do that. Hire this guy. I would like to see a Taco revival.
Yeah, he does seem like a super nice guy. He does have a haunted trunk that he constantly has to feed with the souls of the unwilling, but we'll have our picadillos.
I don't know that, but maybe it's just it's eating meat. What I'm saying is like...
Oh, you can throw a steak in there?
Yeah.
What if he could it has to be like a living thing?
Okay.
He's just tossing stray cats and maybe whole cows. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's... My point is we don't know that it has to be a sentient human with a soul.
Originally, I was putting people in there, and then I was like, what am I doing? And so I tried a cat. That didn't work. Spit it right up. Tried a dog. That was disgusting. Threw up everywhere. And I started moving up the old food chain, if you will, and figured out chimp. Chimp is right in the sweet spot, because you can order 100 chimps and nobody fucking blinks, and this thing seems to eat them.
Yeah.
So, I tossed 2-3 chimps in there once a week, and we're gravy. I mean, I'm sorry, how much is the rent?
Can I suggest a cheaper option? The Irish.
Dude.
I'm just saying. Listen, I'm sure
you know what I am, right?
Well, look, you're one of the good ones.
Wow, we're moving on. Tim, how did this do?
Well, we should probably talk about the second music video before we hit that.
Oh my. I mean, we probably shouldn't.
No,
but
we definitely should.
We're gonna.
So, okay, Garrett, that is the music video that you will find on YouTube. But if you go to the Internet Archive, archive.com or possibly org, or if you get a weird VHS tape on your doorstep, there's one other small part that we should note. Because there's the vocodered super duper part. We discussed that at length.
Yep.
Garrett, what is the visual for the vocodered super duper?
It's a humdinger. Folks, I'll give you 3 seconds to try to guess what's in this music video about an Irving Berlin cover set in the 80s where poor people are magically transported into rich people. 3, 2, 1. It's blackface.
It sure is. And it's not, okay.
And not just a little.
No. It's very like conscious blackface because it's not just like we painted white guys black. Like they went the full thing. They did the white
Sambo.
lips. Yes, it is a Sambo. There it is.
Okay, now Tim, let's talk intent. Is this meant to conjure the original meaning of Irving Berlin's Puttin' on the Ritz? It seems that way.
I honestly think that was the version that he first heard, right? Because he heard it back in the day.
Sure, he never heard the revision because he was locked in a trunk.
Yeah, so when he was like, we want you to be popular, what song would you like to do? He gave him this one, and then they brought him the lyrics that they knew to sing or talk or whatever. He was obviously displeased because it wasn't racist enough for the time period. Again, Taco, you're a lovely man. We're
just trying to figure out why you have a bunch of blackface in your music video. That's all.
That's fair.
It's so much. Now, we mentioned earlier the Tron effects. The original version of the music video has no Tron effects. It has aggressive blackface. Instead, they just had to like Photoshop that out. They do a pretty good job considering how much blackface is in this music video.
Now, you can allegedly still see them in some of the slow motion shots in the background, but yeah,
sure.
The ones where the screen is filled with two people in blackface covering the entire screen and singing in vocodery. Yeah, that's not in there.
Replaced with like Gary Cooper, right?
Yeah.
Trying hard to look like Gary Cooper. Super duper. It's a good song. Let's see here. Yeah, it's wild though. I read about it before we received that ring-like tape.
Wait, that wasn't you?
No, of course not.
Garrett, that actually might have been Taco.
Oh yeah, probably. Or I hope it wasn't the trunk and we are in some sort of curse scenario.
Oh God, what if we're in the trunk right now?
Oh my God. Listeners, write in, heypodmail@gmail.com. Are you in the trunk as well, or are our podcasts being released from this pocket dimension? Are we all in our own trunks, or... Oh shit, man, we don't have time for this. Okay, I don't know that I invite people to seek out the original version. It's offensive. It's curious.
It's pretty hilarious, though, to see that imagery with vocodery super duper on top of it.
That's a very good point. Yeah, I mean, give it a watch. I don't think anybody's going to celebrate that version. In fact, I am sort of surprised they changed it, to be honest. I think they changed it like within the year.
Well, yeah, again, mirroring Irving Berlin.
I think he waited like 10. Interesting. It did mirror it, though. I wonder if that was always the intent. It was a big marketing scam. We're going to Berlin it.
We're going to make it real offensive so that people talk about it at first, and then we'll sanitize it so that it has a long shelf life, you see.
First you shock them, then you give it legs. I call it shocking legs. That's a terrible name, sir. Shocking legs. Okay, I think that's all we want to say about the music video, so that brings us to how did it do? So Tim, how did it do?
Pretty well, honestly. This was a #1 single on the Finnish Suomen Virallinen lista, also in New Zealand, and on the Swedish Sverigetopplistan. It hit #4 on the US Billboard Hot 100. The album it was on made it to #23 on the Billboard 200. Unfortunately, in his native the Dutch, it only made it to #12 or #18, depending on which list you believe.
Neither.
Okay.
What do people think of it?
Well, we don't have a Robert Christgau review, although he does seem to like the palindromic band Taco Cat. 188 total ratings on Amazon, 4.7 out of 5 stars on average. 79% 5-star, 1% 1-star. Okay, so this first one is by JPM. It's entitled Great Price, Good Clean Recording, No Noise or Static from 2021. Great price, good clean recording, no noise or static. Not a great song, but it is nostalgic. I got it for $1. I can't complain. I wouldn't pay the full $129 for it. You got me happy with the price. Now, 69 cents would have been better. 5 out of 5 stars.
What? First, he's complimenting what is obviously an MP3. What do you mean there's no noise? Then he's haggling after the fact to nobody. And finally, just like, why? Why any of this? I guess like many people could listen to this show and go, why? And that's fair, to each their own. But like, I feel like what we're doing at least has 10% more obvious value than this guy who just is complaining ultimately that he didn't save 30 cents on an MP3.
Yes. Jay Park from 2015. This was a cool song from my childhood, so it brings back a lot of memories. The official video makes a good social commentary that is still valid even in today's times.
No! When did he write this?
2015.
No!
Hold on. Even in today's times, ... maybe even more now.
No. What's the comment?
I don't know. But then there's some stuff about Young Frankenstein that's not that interesting.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. So then I went to the YouTube comments. Now, almost all of these comments were liked by Taco himself.
No way.
And not none of them had responses from Taco. We will get into it. Mad Zod is...
There's a chance we're going to hear from Taco again.
Oh, we're 100% going to hear from Taco, which is why I say, hi, Taco. I really like you. Loved you on the podcast. Was a little scared of your trunk when you were here. I welcome doing an after show interview with you, though.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Taco, love the song. Always have. Fan of 30 years. Are you a come-to-life ventriloquist dummy? I don't blame you at all. You are the victim of a cursed trunk, and that's not your fault. Live your truth. We'd love to have you back on the show. Did that trunk eat our interns? We're not going to press charges. We just need to know for, tax purposes.
Yeah, if we if we acquire...
They're all dependents.
If we acquire a bunch more, and then the ones that the trunk definitely ate come back, I'm going to have to get rid of 3 interns.
Right, and we don't have a trunk.
No.
And they ain't chips, if you know what I mean.
Anyway, Garrett, right. Madzod 0076 1 year ago. I can see him being one of the friendlier spirits of the Overlook Hotel.
I mean, yeah, he looks like the bartender.
Yeah, he does. This is by King Kayuru 1234 6 months ago. Taco, if you're out there responding to comments, I listened to this song on a constant loop back in 2016 for 72 hours while I crammed all my school assignments so I could graduate on time. This song and a 12-pack of Monster energy drinks helped me graduate high school, and I cannot thank you enough for that. This was liked by Taco, but not responded to Taco. Who did respond is Stamarema Danella Conservadora 7577 in Portuguese 5 months ago, who said, weak mind, lack of temperance, discipline, and physical control.
Couldn't agree more.
Yes. Coyote 6386 2 months ago said, this guy would have made a great Joker in one of the Batman films.
Maybe Batman 68. Although that was maybe my favorite Joker, mustache Joker.
Yeah, I'm not shaving this thing.
Hey, we're going to cover your entire face in white makeup. Don't you think that'll look strange? I don't give a shit.
It's your stupid movie.
You've already signed the contract. Cover my fucking face while I smoke this cigarette.
One more, Garrett. This is Ryan ZB4BD 2 years ago. I respect you and your music more than anyone else. The fact I can visibly see you enjoying what you do. Don't see that much nowadays. I'm 20. To which Taco replied, thanks a million, Ryan.
Do you mean he enjoying himself in the music video?
I assume. I don't know.
I hope it's more out in the world. Because it seems like Taco's having a great life. We wish you well, Taco. This music video is haunting.
Yeah.
Any other reviews?
Nah.
Great. Who's this for?
This is for people who do not have $1.29, but have $1.
But wish they had only spent 70 cents.
That's right.
God. It's also apparently for me.
Yeah, it might be for me. I think this is a siren song to get you into a trunk.
What is that?
He opens
Did you hear that music?
He opens a trunk. He's dressed exactly like he is. He's got the cane, and he sings this while dancing in a circle around the trunk every once in a while, just tapping the trunk with a cane as if to indicate, now go in there, please.
Yeah, it's a Pied Piper situation. You're just sitting there watching TV, maybe get up to take a piss, and suddenly down the hall you hear, if you're blue and you don't know where to go, why don't you Hello? Puttin on the Ritz. God, man. What is that? It smells like mahogany and leather.
And grease paint.
Good, come to me. Anywhoozleby, great stuff, Timmy. Final thoughts? Anything you want to share before I ask the big Q?
I don't think so. I would just say if you like this song or if you have never heard this song, don't listen to it. Don't ever listen to this song. Watch this song.
But watch the new version.
Yeah, it's a little more, a little less.
Tasteless.
Yeah, watch the new version.
Tim, we've been all the way through it. I'm curious. We've spent more time on it than we ever should have. Do you hate this song?
No. But if I ever hear it, I'm going to move in a different direction. Definitely not toward the song.
That seems smart.
Yeah. What about you? Did you somehow get there?
No, I'll continue to listen to this probably weekly.
Weird.
Not on purpose.
Weird
But
behavior.
if I do hear it just like ambiently and I'm not wearing headphones, I will run.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. We'll just say that.
Gotta dance. Sorry. All right. You don't hate it. I don't hate it. Taco, you seem like a lovely person. And by person, I do mean doll come to life. Prove us wrong. hatepodmail@gmail.com.
Show us your joints.
Oh, please don't show us your joints. You could just, I don't know, come on the show and prove that you are not a haunted doll that's forced to harvest souls for a trunk.
By showing
that
us
eats
your
people.
joints.
God, totally up to you if you want to show us your joints. It would go a long way towards proving you're not stitched together.
It's the one place they can't fix in a doll.
Fascinating statement. Okay, Tim, that brings us to listener mail. Would you like to go first or should I?
Ooh, I should probably go first, don't you think?
Yeah, actually, I do this week.
Oh, interesting. This is an email we got this morning. It's from Michael, and it's entitled, quote-unquote, crabs is a slur.
Oh, come on, is it?
Maybe. Let's find out, Garrett. I just finished the Desiree album, where you guys make a joke about incorporating crabs as an insulting term. I should have you know that crab is a term used to insult members of the Crips. You would say it to a Crip you wanted to immediately fight. This is funny considering the last time I wrote based on another episode, I let Tim know that he was let into the Hoover Crips, but I don't go where you gangbang and tell you how to gangbang. The amount of words we have to adapt is exhausting. That being said, I'm going to go grab a hamburger with cheese and have a short day sleep session. I don't know what most of that means, but apparently you, Garrett P. Harvey, have been challenging the Crips to some sort of fight-off.
I don't remember doing that.
They do. I'm sure
It was
they do.
incidental. Can I
can
unchallenge them?
You can right here. You can unchallenge Crip Nation.
Crip Nation, I know apparently you're listening. I have no intention of fighting any of you.
Interesting. Not really.
You crabs.
Jesus.
Got him.
We probably cut that so that you don't get murdered. Not really, joking aside, as of this writing, I've completed 11,407 DoorDash orders as a second job. That sounds like a primary job, friend.
Yikes.
Most of that time was listening to you or Joe Budden. I beg again, do Lupe Fiasco's Laser. Also 10,000 Gex. Also maybe a Logic album. The first one is really good and the rest are bad, so maybe make me hate the first one too. Fuck it, do a Joe Budden a song for a crossover episode. You owe me. Tim knows why. Now, I just have to point out, Joe Budden left a 2-year, $44 million deal with Spotify to make $1 million a month on Patreon. Which I bring up to say, hey, let's fix that Patreon thing.
Yeah, we should probably figure that out. What we need to do is redo the website so that it's real again. Get the fuck off, HostGator. And then you can put a donate button. And then we don't have to give any piece of it to anybody. Like everybody gets to just give it to us.
Well, see, what we do is we figure out how much money we want, how much Patreon's going to take, and then we upsell it by more than that.
Right, I see. I think we can just get around it and put like a donate button on our website.
What we need to do is some sort of offline donation, like a $5 in an envelope. Yeah,
like a PO box. I completely agree. I think this should be an entirely cash endeavor.
Mm-hmm. No wet envelopes, to be clear.
I don't know what kind of life you're living that you have to specify that.
I'm living the life you're living, Garrett. We get a lot of wet mail in this goddamn city.
That's actually pretty true.
Yeah. Garrett, did you get an email that was different from that one?
Sure did, Tim. In fact, I intercepted this email. It is meant exclusively for you. And as you know, I like to read the first sentence of emails and no more. But I had to make an exception this week because as I read the first sentence, I was so intrigued about what was to follow that I couldn't stop reading. And so, Tim, to help me embody the spirit of this email, I'm going to use a bit of an accent. I hope that's okay with you. And this email is, like I said, it's to you, sir. And it's from someone named Eric.
Oh.
There is a last initial. I don't even think I want to read it because I think when I read this email, you're going to seek them.
Okay.
Email goes. In fact, let me moisten my throat for this.
Are you moist?
So not even going to entertain that. Howdy, Tim, a.k.a. Clear Hair Timmy. My name is One-Eyed Eric. I'm your shop steward for the International Brotherhood of Cowboys, Local 85. I wish I was writing in with better news for you, but this is in regards to your standing in the IBC.
Oh, no.
Now, while you was warned about talking too much about our cowboy business on that radio show you do, you've unfortunately overcompensated and have not talked enough about the cowboy business as required by the bylaws. This led to an audit, and it turned out you haven't been paying your dues on time. All we have received is an insufficient funds notice from an account by the name of G. Harvey.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. It's your Chase account, Garrett.
God, that's why that got closed. Therefore, at this time, we're left with no other option than to suspend your membership in the union, pending an investigation. Please return your neckerchief and spurs via Pony Express until the investigation is completed. We'll send a telegram about our findings, but please suspend all hooting, all hollering, rooting, and tooting for the interim. P.S. Please stop sending us erotic drawings of that bearded fella on a couch bed. It is confusing.
It is confusing. The way I draw him, it is me. I could just mail him another one of your credit cards. And,
Stop doing that. Don't use my credit cards literally for anything, and that includes jimmying open things, Tim.
Well, stop locking stuff. How about that? Anyway,
Absolutely
my point
not.
is I'm pretty sure I can smooth this all over. I am a pretty big deal in the cowboy community as far as I remember.
Yikes. It gave me great joy to hear that you've been kicked out of that weird
I'm not kicked out. I'm not kicked out. They might be doing an investigation, but listen, you've been investigated before.
Oh, sure, but not by a bunch of weirdos wearing 10-gallon hats and spurs.
Well, I mean, that's a fair point, but...
Tim, they have no authority on your life. Tell them to eat shit and die.
No, absolutely not. I want back in.
God damn it. I was really hoping this was going to be like, we're going to cross the Rubicon, put it behind us. You could be an adult person that doesn't fantasize about being a cowboy. But no, okay, we're just going to live in that. Great. Let's 4 more years.
Maybe I'll up the talk. We'll see.
Yikes. Tim, that brings us to music news of the weird. Would you like to go first or should I?
I should probably go first, I think.
All right.
Music news of the weird.
Garrett, in Liam and Noel somehow are not the worst Gallagher's news. There is a third Gallagher. Have you heard about this? Do you know about this?
Like this Gallagher? That guy?
No. The Oasis
Smash!
brothers. Jesus, that guy's dead.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. No, what Gallagher do you refer to?
Paul Gallagher, Garrett. He is the Luke Hemsworth or Andrew Future Man Wilson of the group, which is to say he is older and not invited to the party. Well, Garrett, you see, the 59-year-old DJ, photographer, and author was recently charged with and coercive and controlling behavior and 3 counts of sexual assault and regular assault and 3 counts of something allegedly called intentional strangulation. Now, I was completely unaware that was a crime. And also 2 counts of making death threats. Now, this all apparently happened between 2022 and 2024, and he is, of course, denying them. Now, this man does look, of course, as you'd expect, like Eugene Merman was cast to play Liam and Noel's older brother, but he does sound like he might allegedly be a real monster. Who knows where he was August 2nd when that guy fell to his death at the Oasis concert in Wembley Stadium. As far as I know, that man was not intentionally strangled. But who knows? Do they even look for that? How intentional can it be? Is it a crime if you can convince them it was an accident?
An accidental strangling?
Yes. That happens all the time, Garrett.
I doubt it.
There have been 23 of them in the park this very year.
God, I don't think they were accidents.
Well, Garrett, I expect you to not say those very specific set of words come the arraignment on Monday. Garrett, do you have any news about strangulation or really anything? Do you have Diddy Watch news?
I've got both. Quick follow-up. You alluded to it, Tim, but I've got the deets. As Tim casually reported, a man recently fell to his death at Wembley Stadium towards the end of a sold-out Oasis show. The incident happened Saturday night in London, and the Metropolitan Police say officers and medics found a man in his 40s dead from injuries, quote, consistent with a fall. Very important. No signs of intentional strangulation. Cops say the man was pronounced dead at the scene. Yeah, no shit. The call came in a few minutes after the show ended.
So, presumably, secure. So, it'd be interesting to know.
I will tell you, because I went to Wembley Stadium's website, and it says the show was supposed to end at 10:15, and according to according to police records, the Met says the call came in at 10:19 p.m., 4 minutes after the scheduled end of the concert, leading to the very question that I will allow you to ask and all our listeners are thinking.
Well, I might have a slightly different question. My question is if Oasis's team called it in or if fans called it in.
I believe fans did.
Okay, so everyone was just on board with we're going to let that sit. So what time is it thought that he died?
Right, that's the question. How long was this gentleman dead on the floor in a heap before somebody was like, Wonderwall, that was great. I never thought they'd do that. All right, we should probably call the police now. Although they're British, so it's all long, Grace. Anyway, funny stuff. Yeah. But not for that guy. Pretty tragic, actually.
He's dead.
Quick side note on the Diddy Watch. A New York federal judge, at the risk of just really repeating himself, Tim, denied Sean Diddy Combs' renewed bail request. Hip-hop mogul, who was convicted last month of prostitution-related charges, but acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering, will remain in jail until his sentencing in October. Judge Arun Subramanian said Monday that Combs, quote, fails to satisfy his burden to demonstrate an entitlement to release, which is a very fancy way of saying he has repeatedly shown himself to be a fairly violent person and is probably not super happy about all that witness testimony of the last several months.
Well, yeah, not especially with how he was eyeballing him during that trial.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Mr. Combs, please stop nodding at the jury. Wow. Tim, what other news do you have?
In Connor Oberst's kind of a weird dude news, the hometown of Bright Eyes frontman Connor Oberst held a Connor Oberst celebrity lookalike contest as a benefit for music education group Omaha Girls Rock. Now, I know what you're wondering. Yes, the first 40 people in attendance did receive a single American Spirit cigarette. Now, this is all despite the fact that nobody knows what Connor Oberst looks like. And I know that because I looked at the photos of the contestants and none of them know because none of them look like one another. So
that's awesome.
I don't know what we're doing. But anywho, I know what you're asking. Connor did in fact attend. I don't think he competed, although some news outlets claim that he did and lost. But I think that might be somebody just being cute. He did present the winner of the contest with, you guessed it, a giant trash bag of his clothes that he had brought from home for some reason. He said, I was cleaning out my closet, so you get a big bag of my clothing.
I like him.
Yeah, what a weirdo. Garrett.
I thought you were just going to tell me that he had entered his own contest.
Well, no, I think, again, I believe that the organizers of the event, knowing that, it's his hometown, he might actually show up, because what's he doing on a Tuesday? I think they said, we'll allow him to compete, but we have a rule where he can't win if he does.
Okay.
Yeah, so, which is what you should do, because that's not fun.
I agree.
Yeah. Garrett, news, go, please.
Weird. Well, Tim, in welcome to the the end of Rome news. Alleged rapper Lil Tay just turned 18. Never heard of her, but I'm sure the kids think she's all the rage. And she wasted no time in diving face first into adulthood by launching an OnlyFans account. Yay. But Tim, don't worry. She's claiming it has shattered records within hours. The rapper says she pulled in a whopping $1,024,298.09 in her first 3 hours.
Interesting. She must have been doing some weird foot stuff or whatever to pull those numbers. The 9 cents bothers me though. Do you think that's like a percentage that OnlyFans is taking and that's what she was left with? Or do you think somebody is it donated? That's probably not donated. That's probably insulting. Somebody paid for her services and included sub-dollar amounts.
I think it's subscriptions. I think that's the thing.
Okay.
And I think she had a lot of them.
Oh, it sounds like it.
Let's see here. I did a little more digging because that seemed like an astonishing amount of money for 3 hours. But then I found out, do you know who Bad Baby is, Tim?
I do.
Okay, cash me outside with those hands. She originally set the record with her debut on OnlyFans, something I don't recall knowing, earning $1,030,703.43 in 6 hours. She then later demonstrated evidence of these earnings when everyone challenged her, and then she said, actually, I have now earned more than $50 million, which of course everyone said, go fuck yourself, till she showed everyone her bank statements.
Huh. So she made $50 million and that's like in a checking account now?
She showed the OnlyFans invoice thing.
Ah, gotcha.
As of September 2024, Tim, Bad Baby earns $1,489,374 per month on OnlyFans and remains the highest paid quote-unquote creator on the platform.
Should we see what the hype is? Because
I'll do feet stuff. I'll show my feet.
I think we should just get a subscription to this to see
investigate.
Well, at first to steal some tricks. Yeah, no, we'll do more feet stuff. I got some more feet news later. Don't worry.
Gross. Yeah, so this is all quite sad, but Tay does insist that she was inspired by the sex-positive celebs like Sydney Sweeney and Sabrina Carpenter, and sharing this is all about empowerment and not exploitation. And when I first read that quote, I was like, yeah, it still feels like you're sort of being exploited because you're 18 and a day old. But also, you made $1 million in 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, joke's on everyone else, I think. You do you, boo.
All right. You heard it here first. Garrett approves.
I don't know that I approve.
Garrett
I just don't.
Enthusiastically endorses your life choices, no matter what they are.
You have to know that's a wild over-exaggeration. Tim, what other disturbing news about boobies?
In Support the Troops news this week, a parent soldier, DeAndre Cortez Way, aka Soulja Boy, who holds a 3.3 rating on men.wikifeet.com, has been arrested.
What? Why do you know that?
I look everyone up just to see.
Am I on there?
We'll talk. We need to do some grouping.
A buff and polish.
He has been arrested by the goddamn woke LAPD for the unconstitutional crime of being a felon in possession of a firearm. Now, the Second Amendment, to my reading, does not say you can't have a gun just because you definitely will use it for crimes similar to or worse than your previous documented crimes. Don't remember that part being in there, Garrett. And if you don't remember who Soulja Boy is, see our honestly mediocre episode number 177 from June 20th, 2023. He was previously ordered to pay $500,000 to Kyla Myers for kidnapping and assaulting her, including pistol whipping and stomping on her stomach, more on that later, and knocking her to the ground. He was accused of causing a miscarriage to girlfriend Nia Riley by kicking her in the stomach. He was arrested for obstruction, marijuana, gun charges, death threats. He was sued for his involvement in a cryptocurrency quote-unquote company, and he was sued for allegedly imprisoning and raping an unnamed former personal assistant, for which he was found liable to the tune of an alleged $4 million. So I just want to say, Soldier Boy, get your shit together, stop assaulting people.
And kidnapping them.
Also, thank you for your service to our nation. And I would just like to leave you with one Soldier Boy quote. Fuck the FBI and fuck all the army troops. Fighting for what? Bitch, be your own man.
Yeah, I remember that not going over great at the time as well.
They didn't.
Although, I mean, he made a bunch of money with that stupid song.
Yeah, but they wouldn't sell it on army bases anymore. Garrett, more news from you.
This is a weird one, Tim. In nothing to see here news, and I'm just going off vibes. I don't mean to imply anything, but Justin Timberlake's social media is just weird to me lately. And recently he posted a photo of himself just taking a load off and wearing a gray t-shirt that said, oh, right. First, he announced that he had Lyme disease.
Yes.
Okay. Why do I need to know that?
Well,
and then he's wearing
so
a
that
sweatshirt.
You know that Just Tim has Lyme disease, and maybe that's what that DUI was about.
Well, it's...
Did you know that both... Justin Bieber, Juby as you call him, and the woman named Melissa Vandella, who is currently playing the role of Avril Lavigne, both successfully defeated Lyme disease.
Yeah, I do know that.
Oh, okay.
We talked about it on the show. You talked about it on the show to me. We have had this conversation.
All right.
Anyway, Tim, his social media shows JT rocking it, just being super cash, wearing a gray sweatshirt that's ugly as all fuck. And it says, I'm not doing shit today. And he's added a couple of little digital green check marks. That coupled with the recent Lyme disease announcement just gets me thinking, like, it feels like you're trying to be like, hey, don't wonder where I am for the next couple of weeks or months or years. I'm not anywhere strange. Gotta go.
I'm not anywhere strangling people.
Like, I don't think he's going to be strangling people or going off to some sort of island to have like his eyeballs and blood switched out. But it does seem like he's about to get like hair plugs or an eye tuck or some shit. And he's just like, don't worry if you don't see me for 8 to 12 weeks. It's just Lyme disease and fatigue.
And sometimes when you have Lyme disease, you come back looking way different. Garrett, are you going to use this in an attempt to swoop in and steal Jessica Biel from him?
Listen, I would never do that. It's not how I roll. If I were to casually run into her in the city, because we happen to go to a similar restaurant or bar that we both frequent and always have, and I don't suddenly start going to, and we hit it off, Tim, look, I can't tell you what fate has in store for any of us.
That's true.
But I can be open to it though.
And you should.
And I am. I'm open to fate.
Gotta hope that works out for you. Oh, it's going to be so much fun when you have to disappoint her by being like, well, I know I'm staying on the couch beds.
Yeah, I got this whole thing on the Upper West Side. It's not weird.
It's so weird.
But it's strange.
Yes.
I have a roommate. It's a 2-bedroom. We stay in the living room though. Separate beds. Well, they're couches. They turn into beds, and we never turn them into couches.
Well, we never turn them into beds.
Yeah, they're broken.
Mine works. I just don't use it. I like
yours. Okay. Listen. Do you have any more news before I kill you?
No.
Great. That means we can stop this nonsense. But before we go, Tim, it's very important that we let everybody know that we're going to come back here and we're going to be talking about a new album that we may or may not hate. And this is the part of the show where we pick what album that's going to be. So Tim, fire up the ball hopper, get it a spinning, and select from the Select-O-Matic our next album.
All right, Garrett. It looks like fate has delivered us something nice here. We're going to be listening to Kings of Leon's first truly bad album, Only by the Night.
Yeah.
They've got, by my count, like you, an additional 5 bad albums. But we do have those first 2 albums that are real good.
Wow, 5. I have one of those. It's clear and it's 10 inches.
I have the first 2 on not clear, and they are the normal size.
Yeah, I don't think I have the other. Well, maybe I fucking do. It's been forever. But I have, special edition one of the light bulb one.
Oh, that's because of the times. I don't have that one. That's not their best.
No, but it was a special edition, and I was stupid stupid. So
You remember when I
pretty cool.
tricked you into buying Flight of the Conchords?
yeah, I do regret that and ever listening to you ever. You know, the other one that I hate that you made me buy is the South Park Gay Fish single.
Oh, yeah.
Fish Sticks.
Yeah, I don't know why you would have done that.
It was a picture disc. It was Record Store Day.
Yeah, this is a bad
We're
idea.
at the front of the line.
I'm hearing you say it now, and this is...
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, now, but you gotta, it was what, 2008, 2009? It was us and 11 other weirdos.
I was much more convincing then, is what I'm hearing.
I think it was the first time I ever had an adult paycheck and was just like, I don't know what to do with all this. And it wasn't save it. It was listen to Tim's shitty ideas. That didn't last long. All right, folks, as always, rate, review, subscribe, pledge your firstborn, convince others to listen to it, even if they hate it. A lot of people listen to us strictly because they hate it. It's their prerogative. Way to go. But most importantly, let's get those numbers up. You can do that by following us on those social medias. Instagram is HatePod. Twitter's Album HatePod. I'm G Harvey Tweets on Twitter. I'm very unresponsive because I hate that platform, but I will get back to you. But the best way, if you really want to hear from us, hatepodmail@gmail.com. Write in. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, similar stories to the ones we've shared today, anecdotes about the songs or albums we've talked about. All of this music news of the weird must elicit some sort of memory or fondness from your childhood you'd like to share with us. And listen, you can mark it and say, do not tell anyone my name. You can also say, do not read this on the show. We are very respectful of our listeners here on the podcast, and we will listen to your wishes. Now, if you don't put those things, come on, we're going to read it. If we ever think we might be making you uncomfortable, we'll omit the name. But write in. We want to hear from you. We'd love to have those fun emails for the show. And like I said, just let us know if we can use your name. If you'd like us to, not to. We'll do what you want. We've also got Discord servers. We've got subreddits. We've got all the things. We're on the internet. You're on the internet. You can find us. You got this far. Good job. I think that's going to do it for this week. I've been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy P. Richardson, and on October 8th, 2017, Garrett P. Harvey said, "What do you call an inverse erection?" Oh, an insurrection.
Gold.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.